Hello, my name is Traci Smet with Ministry Point Sports Medicine, and today I'm providing a presentation review on Outsmarting Diseases, which was originally presented by Dr. Brad Johnson from Ministry Medical Group. So today's talk is mostly going to focus on different types of diseases and how they are affected by weight. Specifically, we're going to really hit on these main ones here and go into them in a lot more detail in these next upcoming slides. Body mass index, or BMI, is going to be the main factor on most of these diseases that we will talk about today. So in front of you, you see the standard percentages of body mass index and how it relates to weight. Less than 18.5 is underweight, 18.5 to 25 is normal, 25 to 30 is considered obese, and anything over 40 is extremely obese. If you've ever wanted to calculate your own BMI, all you have to do is go ahead and Google BMI calculator and find it. If you want to do it the long way, there is a formula Dr. Johnson shared with us. First, you take your weight in pounds and divide it by height in inches. Then you take those two numbers and divide it by height in inches again. Then you take those three numbers and you times it by 703, and you will have your BMI. So many of us have seen these statistics before in many of the other previous presentations. Just to hit on them again, nationally about a third of the population is obese. Wisconsin is actually a little healthier than the national average, and Portage County is even healthier yet, but still we have lots of room for improvement in there. So the first disease we want to talk about is diabetes. Diabetes very closely correlates with weight. 25.8 million in the United States have diabetes, which is about 8.3 of the population. Again, Wisconsin and Portage County has less numbers than the overall average, but with Portage County, 7%, which is about 4,500 people, have diabetes. Now, the interesting thing about diabetes is that your risk increases by 25% for every 1 BMI unit over 22. That's not even talking about 25 being into that obese category, but even those in the normal 18.5 to 25 category can actually have a higher risk for diabetes by being in that normal category. 27% of new diagnoses of diabetes are directly related to, or research shows, a gain of 11 or more pounds. So if you even gain 10 pounds, your risk for diabetes increases. The second disease we're going to talk about is hypertension. Again, it directly correlates with BMI very closely. Higher BMI instantly guarantees a higher blood pressure. Again, if you have a 22-pound increase in weight, you increase your chances for high blood pressure by 12%. That's a huge number. Weight loss and exercise are directly related to lowering BP, and exercise alone will actually lower blood pressure. So looking at exercise and weight loss as a total control package to lower your blood pressure. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at obesity and diabetes over the last couple years. The maps you're going to see in a second here go from 1994 to 2008. These are a series of maps from the CDC. Red, or the darker the color that you see on the map, indicates the larger amount of bad that we have in the population. For instance, red in the obesity map indicates a BMI of 26% or higher, and on the diabetes map indicates a percentage of 9% or higher. So let's take a look at these maps over the next couple of years and really watch the changes occur. So that was pretty amazing, looking at how everybody's categories in every state got more and more and more and worse and worse and worse since 1994. So the slide in front of you right now is basically a summary of the last couple of slides that you see. Again, looking at the larger numbers of red in the areas of the obesity and diabetes map are just amazing to see how much weight is not under control. So the graph in front of you shows a relationship between BMI and high blood pressure. The higher the BMI, the higher the blood pressure. So let's talk about another type of disease like cholesterol. High cholesterol is another correlation with BMI. If your BMI increases, your total cholesterol is also going to increase, including your triglycerides. So again, looking at how cholesterol works with BMI, even one BMI unit increase equals 1 milligram per DL decrease in HDL, which is our good cholesterol, which we want to be high, if that makes sense. So LDL cholesterol, or the bad cholesterol, again will increase of 10 BMI units, which is quite a bit, will actually equal 10 to 20 milligrams per DL increase in the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol again. Now, Dr. Johnson talks about these small, dense particles and the higher, larger particles. You actually want larger particles, which is related to the amount of triglycerides. So again, exercise and weight management is going to help lower the LDL, which is what we want to be down. This is another graph similar to the one you saw before, except this one is related to high blood cholesterol. So again, the number of people is on the left-hand side, and BMI with an increase directly shows a relationship with cholesterol increasing. And this last one shows a relationship between BMI and low HDL cholesterol. Alright, let's talk about heart disease. Heart disease is the cause of about 42% of the deaths in the United States. A little less again for Wisconsin, Portage County. Heart disease is directly related to whether a person has diabetes, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, and obesity are all factors for heart disease. You have an increased risk for heart disease if you have a BMI over 22. Again, that does fall more in the normal category, since 25 is when you actually hit the obese category, so just something to be aware of. And again, one increase in BMI, 1 unit, equals a 10% increase for heart disease. This is a very interesting graph here. This shows the major causes of death for white males and females. Males are on the left and females are on the right. So when we look at this, A is an indicator for cardiovascular disease or heart disease. B is for cancer. C is for accidents. D and E are related to other medical illnesses. F is Alzheimer's. The next one we're going to talk about is stroke. Stroke risks directly relate to blood pressure. In women, compared to a BMI of 21, cardiovascular arrhythmias or a stroke is 75% higher for a BMI greater than 27 and almost double that for a BMI higher than 32. The mortality rates in the United States is about 9.8%, and Portage County, Wisconsin fall right along with that average. The next one we're going to talk about is cancer, colon, breast, and endometrial cancer. Colon cancer, you have a twice as high risk if your BMI is higher than 29. Breast cancer is a direct relationship again. If you have a weight gain of 20 pounds from age 18 to your midlife years, you double the risk of breast cancer because of your weight. And endometrial is 3 times more for a BMI over 30. So your risk for cancer goes up if your BMI is higher. Liver and gallbladder disease. The risk for gallstones in women goes up 2% with a BMI over 40. Now, 40 sounds really high since not a lot of us are there, but that's a double the chance compared to the 0.03 with a BMI less than 24. Now this NASH that Dr. Johnson is talking about is non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, or what is considered as a fatty liver. A fatty liver is rare, but it's even rarer for those with a high BMI, but BMI has been shown to be a reason for having a fatty liver. Okay, sleep apnea seems to be the big one. Sleep apnea increases the risk for hypertension, pulmonary hypertension, and cardiac arrhythmias. So many of the things we already talked about in this presentation can be caused because of sleep apnea. So if you're having sleep apnea and you are obese, your chances of getting your weight back under control will not only take care of the sleep apnea, but it'll also take care of many of the other diseases that we talked about earlier. So plain and simple, degenerative joint disease, DJD, or also called arthritis, is very common with those that are overweight or in the obese categories. Plain and simple, the more weight you have, the more you stress your joints, your hips, your knees, etc. So again, decreasing that weight, even 2 units, can significantly make some type of improvement towards your arthritis and how fast you're actually, destroying those joints. As far as gynecological goes, you can have menstrual irregularities, or actually your periods will stop because of your weight gain. Also can be related to weight loss, just on the other side. And you can have some type of stress incontinence on the bladder. For instance, if you leak or have trouble controlling your bladder when you sneeze or cough, that can be related to your weight gain. So again, not to scare anyone, but these diseases that you see here are directly affected by weight in some way. So lowering your weight even just 1 to 10 pounds, or bringing that BMI unit down 1 unit, can significantly have an impact on how long you live, how healthy your life is, and how these diseases may affect you. I hope you all enjoyed today's presentation on Outsmarting Diseases by Dr. Brad Johnson, a review provided by myself, Traci Smet, with Ministry Point Sports Medicine. Have a happy and healthy day.